Hi, I'm Khilli. Hi, I'm Khilli. Hi, I'm Khilli. I'm from India and I love watching films and yeah, I love films.
Why does this intro get harder every time? We had stuff in the beginning.
Let's try again.
Yeah.
Khilli start. Welcome to Fear of Stars, Desi Films Decoded, the podcast where four friends from different backgrounds unlock the world of Desi cinema. I'm Winnie, the Desi who's never been to India.
Hi, I'm Khilli. I'm from India. I love watching films and I love watching films on my mobile phone.
Okay.
I'm Nicky. I'm from Thailand, and I love watching films from the TV.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'm from America, and I like watching films at the drive-in, how it should be seen in a car. We watched a cult classic. It's Kaun.
Gone!
Gone.
You had a whole week to learn how to pronounce this.
I think we should explain like how the sausage is made for this because it's very funny how we kind of like walked backwards into the cult classic, right? Because like
Yeah.
we were just like picking like we were picking the next movie and we didn't want to spend a lot of time on it because like these movies are 2 to 3 hours long, so we're looking for movies that were like an hour and a half, so it wouldn't take too long. And we like were searching and found this one, and it's like 30 or 90 minutes. Psychological thriller, 1999. You knew the director before, right?
Yeah. So it's directed by Ram Gopal Varma and like script written by Anurag Kashyap. So both big names. So and at around that time, Ram Gopal Varma was making like amazing films. Satya was one of them. Came out in 1998. It was like a really cult classic in like critically acclaimed, and was a massive hit. So I thought like this film would be a really nice one, and then Anurag Kashyap also has a very good way of writing thrillers, and Ram Gopal Varma is also known for that. So I was like, oh, it's a nice combination. So it would be an amazing film.
Yeah. So we were like, sure, let's just go for it. It's 90 minutes, easy. We can all watch it. And then I was like really worried because we were trying to find how to watch it. And, we watch everything very legally here. And it wasn't on any streaming service. I wasn't able to find it even on like Usenet. Like I have access to like every movie if I want. I could not find this. I couldn't find it with subtitles. And then I was worried like no one's going to be able to watch this. Like no one's heard of this movie. Like no one's going to be able to watch this if like we're talking about it. Like should we change movies? And we're like, no, it's too late. Let's just keep going. So we watched a copy on YouTube, which we will put the link in the description because there is no other way to watch this film. So we watched it on YouTube, and we saw it, and then we're like, that's interesting. And then we looked it up, and then so it was like ranked as like one of the, the top psychological thrillers from India, right? Like a huge cult classic. Everyone really loves it. And we kind of discovered on accident. But that's kind of the joy of it. And it made me like, oh, cool. Like Gen Z knows about this. Like other people know about this. Like we can talk about it. But it is weird because consensus around it was very different from when we first watched it. So I don't know how to approach this.
Yeah, I think we didn't actually really like it when we started watching it. We were like making fun of everything that was happening in the movie. Like we wouldn't shut our mouths up or
It might have hurt that we were all watching it together. It was me, Khilli, and Nicky watching it together.
Wow.
And we were like enjoying it. But but it's not just that. Like I do agree with all the reviews after reading it and stuff.
Yeah, so I actually so one of the things that I noticed about myself after we watched the movie is that I actually went home and then like I started like looking up things about what makes it so good. So when we see the movie as cult classic, we think that it's going to be a masterpiece, but then I think that it's a cult classic for other reasons. Just like I don't know, the best way to explain it is like the movie is like done on a low budget. We read that the movie is done in like 15 days. There's a lot of like film techniques that the director utilize, like the filmographer utilize, and then there's like the whole single setting thing. Everything is done in one setting. Everything usually there's like long ass takes. And I think that there's like the whole cheesy, like there's like a B movie esque vibe from the movie, which I think some people would kind of dig. And I think after we watched it, we I guess for all of us, I guess we understand why it's an interesting piece of cinema, pretty much. But like I was saying, like when I went back home, I realized I was gushing about it to my brother, to my partner, and I realized that I was making fun of the movie in the beginning, but if I'm talking about it like all this much, then that probably means that I did like the movie.
It left an impact.
It did leave an impact, yeah.
It left a huge impact. It was interesting. And I think for the time period, 1999, it's spot on in like the psychological thriller part. It is on par with what else was going on. And I should say, we're gonna spoil this movie.
Okay, but maybe we should just put like a spoiler tag.
Well, I'm saying it right now. These are the spoiler tags. This movie has a twist. Most people have seen this movie. The twist is pretty famous. The movie's very old. It's 1999. If you're like afraid of any of that, yeah, go watch it on YouTube with the link and come back and listen to it. Yeah. Otherwise, we will spoil this because the twist, you can't talk about this movie without talking about the twist. So we're just going to go forward with that.
Wait, so I had a very different viewing experience because I didn't make it to your watch party, Adam. So I just watched the movie like right before recording this podcast on 1.5x speed. And I can't believe I did that. It's the first time I ever did that. So right after the filming, Nicky told me to watch it on 2x speed. He said it was good, but watch it on double speed. And I didn't think I would actually do that. But that was the only way I could watch the movie before we actually recorded this podcast. And I enjoyed it, but
I'm waiting for fans to completely tear you apart. You're very brave for saying this, and I wasn't going to bring it up. People are going to be so mad that you saw this in 1.5.
Well, it definitely impacted the experience because I could tell that it was not as suspenseful, for sure. It was a bit more humorous just watching them speak in like squeaky voices really quickly.
Yeah. But I think like
it's not scary when it sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, like, yeah, no shit.
I think it's more interesting to watch in that speed, though. I mean, it's all the good things.
Go on.
It's all the good things that one of the things, like while watching the film, I was telling that it feels like it's a very well made student film, and then it's like a script for like a half an hour to 45 minutes movie, and then someone dared the director like you cannot make like this film for a feature length, and then it was like a dare thing, and it was like. For me, this film would have been a really solid, tight film if it was like around 30 to 45 minute film. Then it would have been like with all these twists, all the build up of the suspense and everything. It would have been really like I would have liked it a lot because I really felt it stretched a lot, repetition of things a lot.
Yeah, and that's how long it took me to watch it, 30 to 45 minutes. And I think that's what made it such a perfect viewing experience.
Yeah, so what I talked, everyone that I talked to agreed that the movie could be a little shorter.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't think it can physically be shorter as an Indian film. Like, an hour and a half is like literally like we could not find a shorter film. That is like, it's got to be like a record, and it's way too long.
Yeah, and that's the entire basis for why we chose this film.
We chose it because it was short and it was too long.
Yeah, it did feel too long.
Even at 90 minutes, it was way too long.
Like whether or not whoever's listening to this, whether or not you agree, like there's just a lot of scenes where it dragged on a little too long.
I'm very worried. I feel like this movie we're gonna get like dragged over the coals for.
Our opinion.
No, but
Yeah,
like
true.
for real, like for if you want to release a film, you cannot make a film like 45 minutes. Like if you're making a 45 minutes film, it has to be an anthology film, and you have to put two films together, which often directors do. Like they release two films together as anthology, and like because it is if you're like releasing on some big screen, like you need that timing. Like you cannot release a 45 minutes, and then that 1999 there is no streaming service, there is no YouTube or nothing, no other distribution service. So large short film concept was not there. It's only short films and long format.
You have
films.
to make it at least 90. So they had to pad it out. They had to hit 90. They even have an intermission. For a 90-minute film, they have an intermission. Like they try as best they can to be like a big proper film, and it's too long.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the plot and just kind of go over it, and then we could go into it just to get it out of the way?
Yeah, it just begins in like this. So like the whole movie takes place in this like big. I don't know if you guys want to say mansion.
It's like a huge mansion.
It's like a mansion. Like it's like you. The whole movie takes place in this mansion. There's like a big living room. There's like a spiral staircase that leads up to some sort of like attic room. I don't know.
You're trying to pronounce attic correctly?
Attic. Yeah.
What do you mean for
No, I think-
correctly?
Well, no, because he keeps saying it slowly.
attic, because it's the
Attic.
Brit
No,
way.
I don't think it's an attic room. I think it's just the
No, it's the attic.
first floor.
It's the
No, like the
The
upstairs,
upstairs.
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah,
she
yeah.
hides in the end. That's the attic.
That's the attic. There's also a kitchen, and then like you have like this kitchen has like a lot of windows. So basically, yeah, this is
really important plot
very
detail.
important plot point. No, so anyway, there's a lot of statues as well, and I guess one of the things that the movie does is like you get a lot of these zoom up shots of like horses and like conquistador.
Yeah, it's like an old European style mansion, and there's horse motifs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many horses.
Yeah.
And also there were like some artifacts or like I think replica of artifacts from Indian caves and like old temples and stuff like that. But like but that they don't play any role in the plot. But it's just
Wait, I didn't even notice that. You mean like taxidermy or like?
No. There's
no,
like
no.
wooden horse heads evereverywhere.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere it
those are the
goes.
kind of details
Well,
you miss watching it on 1.5.
I mean, they're showing it for 10 minutes at a time. And so if you only have 5 minutes to look at the scene, it's hard to notice the big horse in focus,
Yeah,
but I understand.
it's like all the shots like there's something on the foreground. Okay, so the scene I can understand the cinematographer is doing something like putting the character in between objects that she's trapped, kind of framing and stuff like that. And most of the time the foreground object is a horse, like a face of
It's
a horse.
always a horse, but it's like horses on the staircase, horse paintings, wood horse things like everywhere. And it's not really explained and there's no symbolism to it. I think there's just horses in the mansion and he kept like cutting to it. And I want to say Winnie did, with the 1.5, first of all, I'm afraid you're going to use this for everything now. and you unlocked like a secret code like Khilli did.
Yeah. So yeah, you have this big mansion, and then like there's a woman that's living in it. It starts off with her like being on the phone talking about how like when are her parents coming back, because I guess she's getting scared from the thunderstorm, the big ass rain that's happening outside. And then like she basically catches the news on the TV that there's a serial killer out there, a serial killer that seems to have modus operandi modus operandi, where like the serial killer like ties his victims but through rope and strangles them. So then like she sees that on the news, and she gets like this sort of paranoia that there's someone living in this mansion. And so we spend a good portion of the beginning where she's kind of like just walking around the house, looking things, like checking out like corners and under the bed and behind curtains and all that, just to make sure there isn't anyone lingering.
Which,
in the
like,
background.
if you see on the news that there's a murder and you're like looking under the bed, I don't know why. Well, I don't know why you would think the murderer is inside the house with you.
Then you should probably just run out, right?
But there's nothing to indicate that they're in the house. She's
Yeah.
watching the news and they're like, there is a murderer, and she's like, it must be in my house, but why?
Yeah, so I can explain like why that kind of makes sense, because like while I was growing up, like burglary and breaking in someone's houses like silently, not letting people know, and like silently coming on the top floor or something, and then doing some robbery or stealing stuff was very common. Like we had like a 3-floored house, and we had like break in 2-3 times when I was kid at the middle of the night.
What?
And yeah, we had break-ins, like the thief would come and like steal things. So that happened. So
Wait, what did they steal? Like,
so we had like a temple kind of thing on our 3rd floor, and then they broke in, and then they took all the like utensils. Like it was like brass utensils like
In the
copper.
third floor?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got all the way up to the third floor?
No, they come from like the roof. Like
That's
they enter from the
horrifying.
roof.
It's like Santa coming down the chimney.
Yeah,
But
so
bad Santa.
yeah, gremlin. Yeah, so that happened 3 times, and then
That's crazy.
yeah, and then they would do steal from the window and stuff. But that's not a break-in. But they were breaking like 2 times. So sorry. So so while I was growing up, so if the house is empty or like no one is there, or it's like a middle of the night, I am just going out to the washroom. If I hear some noise on the top floor, I would be like very cautious, and I will like tiptoe and go check like it's like all the locks are intact and stuff like that. I don't know what I was thinking because I was a kid. Like if someone
No.
actually broke in, like I wouldn't be safe, but I would still like go and check
I would
if
be
everything is fine.
horrified.
Yeah, so that fear part I could understand. Like, that happens.
I just
Yeah.
watch a lot of Home Alone and learn all the tricks on how to get back
Yeah,
at thieves.
Yeah, I
I-
mean, they give you the instructions right there. Did you not
Right.
watch Home
The
Alone?
whole movie is his
I
instruction.
watched Home Alone but, as a kid,
And
but
you
I
didn't
didn't
like light
have
the doorknobs on fire and have
I-
a bowling ball hit some guy in the head?
I didn't have that much of supply in my place. Like not that many toys and guns and like all this. Like they had a nice toy gun. I was always eyeing for that. Yeah, and then all this bowling ball, and I didn't have that many supplies, so I was falling short.
Mm.
Well, I'd be very afraid if I watched this movie while living in that kind of environment where like it's very feasible for a break-in to happen and watch this movie. I would
Yeah, and
not
literally
want
we
to do that.
see the attic room had the door open. Like she goes at one point and closes the door, right? So that's like a perfect recipe for someone to break in from the rooftop. Yeah.
Okay, so she has very legit fears and checks under her bed for the killer she hears on TV.
Very legit fears.
And then,
And then like eventually like she goes to the kitchen, tries to cut a piece of toast, and
because she's eating salted toast,
salted toast.
she cuts bread and puts butter on it and eats that.
I think it's so funny that everyone points this out. I guess it's so noticeable. So basically, like eventually, there's a man that rings the doorbell, and it turns out like I don't know how we're gonna call this character, but I usually call him Glasses.
Sure, that's fine with me.
Glasses, and he's like this very like erratic man. Like he looks like he's like I want to say mentally unstable. Like he keeps like pestering her because he's here to see like Mr. Mahotra. But the woman insists that this is Mr. Gupta's house, and he has his suspicions that it's the right address because he said, why else would Mr. Malhotra give this address? And we have this like little back and forth for like the next few moments in the movie where he's just kind of like going up to the doorbell and she's just trying to go have her salted toast, and he's just like saying like, oh, can I come in? It's raining outside. And then she tells him to like stay in the car, and then like he says, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" And then he keeps coming back, and like he said, "Oh, I'm so hungry." Through the window, see, this is important. The kitchen window. He goes in and said, "I'm hungry." So she quickly preps up a sandwich, a cheese sandwich. And now I'll be honest, like the film buff in me thinks that I didn't see a point where she put in cheese in the sandwich.
There is no cheese, and she throws it out the window. You're downplaying how annoying this guy is.
He's really annoying. Yeah, I didn't mean to downplay, but like he's fucking annoying. Like we have this. It's like a constant back and forth. It's like he just keeps coming back
He's super
again and
pushy.
again. Yeah,
He's the most annoying guy on the planet. Like, if you can imagine, like, the most inane, like, pushy, like, he's like, why don't you let me in? Keeps knocking, keeps calling her ma'am. She's watching TV, and he's outside and knocks on the door and says, can you open the curtain so I can watch the TV too? And starts, like, singing outside when she doesn't. He's just so incredibly off-putting and so incredibly annoying that you hate him.
but he's also that's what makes it a great character, right? I think he's my favorite character in the entire movie. Just like the way he talks, the way it's basically there to let the audience think that this guy, something is off with this guy.
The whole movie is just like, is he the killer or not?
which explains the movie. The title of the movie is Gone, which means who.
Exactly. Yes.
So that's where it's coming from. And like there's even like a moment where she like watches like MTV with like Aqua's Barbie girl.
Yeah, that's right. They do Aqua's. That's the only time it reminds you it's 1999 and not like a 1976 movie.
Yeah, just watching it. I hope Winnie caught that at 2x
no, I did
speed.
not.
Yeah, it's
I
important.
I missed all the details.
When you listen to Aqua at 2 speed, it sounds like 1 speed. She has like a normal voice.
What do you mean Aqua? Like
The band Aqua, Barbie Girl. They're playing Barbie Girl on the
watching
TV.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was
Yeah.
like on TV.
That played on the movie.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted to watch, and then like that's when he pestered her through the window where he wants to watch some TV, and
She's
she
like,
lets
ma'am,
him.
ma'am, that's my favorite alt rock band right now. Ma'am, can you play the music video? Ma'am, he has a bald head.
We can do a duet. You sing Barbie, I'll be Ken.
Ma'am, all we can, okay?
I used to love Aqua. Yeah, it was so good.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love that band. It's,
Okay, I want to say that this guy was played by Manoj Bajpayee. I mean, he has been a phenomenal actor in Bollywood. He has been doing. He has done like really great, portrayed really great characters on screen. Like his acting skills are like top notch. I mean, I think when the filmmakers were going for this film, I heard that this film was done like unscripted, right? Yeah. So I think when they're going for, I think he does this thing like to make as annoying as possible. I think he played really well that part, and I wanted to kill him, like get it inside the TV and like kill that fucking guy,
Wait,
stop that shit.
So if it's unscripted, that makes so much sense when he talks about how there's an art to making a cheese sandwich. I just felt like that line. It's like you wouldn't. I don't think you can write that on a script. Like you have to just think that on the fly. I don't know. That's how I feel.
I think he does a lot of tone shifts, and like sometimes he's very scary, and I do believe it. Like he is very scary, and he's super annoying when he wants to be. Sometimes he's sympathetic. I think he plays that well. I do think he played annoying so well that I fucking hated him. And again, the movie is so long, and so much of it is him like just talking and being annoying that it is very aggravating, more than scary.
Yeah.
But one thing we can agree on, he's like a phenomenal actor.
He's
Because
good.
like
Yeah.
he made all of us feel some type of way, right?
Yeah.
Like he kind of triggered that discomfort. That's good acting.
My brother messaged me and he said like out of all the characters, this guy seems to he seems to be having a lot of fun. That's what my brother said. And I
Your brother
actually
watched
agree.
it too?
My brother watched it.
What do you think?
He loved it. He loved the movie. He liked it. He said that it is I told him that I think you should watch this one because, my brother is like a horror buff. Like,
Okay.
he's like, he has seen almost every single horror movie known to man. And I told him, like, maybe you should watch this, like, little cult classic of a film. I think it's right up your alley. And he watched it last night and he told me, yeah, you're right. I did like it. He said,
Interesting.
he-
I will say the makers of this film clearly love horror too.
yeah.
And like you could see a lot of like 1970s Italian horror in like the motifs and like the mansion and everything like that. Story wise or like cinematography wise, it's like very clearly Sam Raimi inspired. There's a ton of Evil Dead shots, like a ton of like the camera, like kind of being like an apparition or a ghost, like running along the ground or doing like all these like weird camera movements and Dutch angles. Like it's all ripped from Evil Dead. And then like story wise, it's like Psycho. So they take like Italian horror with the setting, Sam Raimi cinematography, and like Alfred Hitchcock plot and put it together in 1999. And so you get Aqua, Barbie Girl in that mix too. And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So there's this man, right? He like the character, the glasses he's like bothering her, and like he really wants to get in because it's so cold, right? And then she reasons that one of the reasons she said that he can't come in is because her husband is sleeping upstairs, and then like just to ward him off, right? And then like what he did was that he told her that he saw someone move upstairs. So that played into her fear of that there is someone in the house, right? So she went upstairs and she's terrified that there might be somebody. And then like she hears like this like crack in the window or some she gets terrified, right? And through the fear, she just unlocks the door for him to come in so that he could like try to protect her. And that's the next level of like tension in the movie, where like, okay, she now brings glasses into the house. That could be like, we still don't know if he's the killer or not. And as he's like getting comfortable in the living room, we hear the news report of the serial killer, and then like he kind of like it's so funny, like he kind of like tells her like, you must think I'm the killer, and it plays into that fear. And like all the while for us, the audience, we keep wondering like, is it really him?
Well, and also he immediately tells her right when he gets in, he's like, I'm the one that threw the rock.
Oh yeah, he did admit that afterwards.
Like right away. She lets him in. And he's like, oh, by the way, I threw the rock and I didn't actually see someone and I just wanted to get in. And he just tells her right away once he's inside. And so then you are freaked out because he's like, I know you didn't have a husband. I made the noise. You let me in. Ha ha ha. And you're like, this guy's a fucking psycho.
And he goes and like takes that spear kind of thing from the statue.
There's a knight statue with like an axe, right? And he can pull it out, and it has like a spear tip for murder. And for some reason, he thinks it's a good idea to like pull it out and play around with it with a crying woman alone in her house.
And actually, like after he demands the coffee from her, he also goes in the kitchen and like pulls out a knife at her, right? Yeah. So there's also this very like intimidating scene where it's like, is he gonna stab her or not? And right after they hear the news, so it's quite understanding why she would think that he's a serial killer.
And
right?
the gender politics, you're thank you for bringing up the coffee part, because the gender politics are crazy. Because like he takes advantage of her as a woman, having empathy. She lets him in the house. He immediately like throws his jacket on the aquarium, sits down, puts his feet up with his shoes on the table, and he tells her to go make him coffee. Mm-hmm. And he broke into her house and is like demanding coffee and stuff. And he's such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's true. Because like my partner did point that out as well. She was telling me like, why is she just following everything that he's asking her to do? And then the only reason I could think of is like, well, in horror movies, people do dumb decisions all the time.
But it's gender politics. Like he's being the man and just demanding it, and she's just acquiescing because it's like social norms.
Yeah, it's also he's like a stranger in her house, right? Like you would expect that he knows better in order to make her feel safe, but he doesn't care, taking up as much space as he can.
And he's bigger than her, and makes that very well known. And when he grabs the spear and stuff, like he is scary. So what's she gonna do?
He does a lot of like sus things, like he like what Adam said. Like he grabs the spear and then chases her after it, and then later says that, "Oh, hang on, I'm about to protect us from this man," or like gaslighting her through and through. And then like there's also a cat in the room in the house, right? It's little Sherry. It's like this tiny white kitten that the woman is looking after, and then like he goes off on a tangent about like how he used to have a lover that she's like she's like cowardly, just like our main character. And then like you'll see him like being vulnerable, and then the next moment he kicks the cat and then says like, she liked cats too and I hated cats. So there's always like this moment where you think that maybe he's like a nice guy. Then no, he's a bit loose. He's like a bit screwed up in the head.
He violently kicks the cat and then says, I hate cats and I hate people that own cats. My ex-girlfriend had a cat. And she's just like, and we forgot to mention there's this music motif that plays every single time anything scary happens. So immediately, boom, plays the music, and she's like, oh my God, it's the killer. Like, he hit my cat.
Basically like Hitchcock vibes throughout with that. Yeah.
But they clearly overdid the music motif. And it was very, very irritating for me. Like, why are you playing that?
Yeah, that's how we felt too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, if it was already a very intimidating setting, right? Like this empty house, rain happening, you could just play with like the sound design and not play like those loud music, because the loud musics were like distracting me so much and like actually taking out the suspense from me. Like it's a forced suspense with the suspense music, so it's kind of taking that seriousness out of me. And also like I was getting irritated. Well, that's a part of the script. I was getting irritated. Like, you have a phone. Like, why are you not calling the number that they're repetitively telling you on the screen that oh, call this number. If you see anyone suspicious, call this number. Why this lady is not calling that number?
Yeah.
Why do you
We
think,
ex-
Khilli?
Yeah, we find out why.
Several
Yeah.
times the news report mentions a number, but then she never calls that number, which we'll find out.
Yeah.
But
It's actually good writing.
Also, like her phone works, right? Because she's on the phone with her family all the
Yes,
time.
yes, yes.
So yes.
Yeah.
so yeah, there's after the back and forth, there eventually like the electricity goes out in the mansion, in the house, and then our characters are like fumbling in the dark, and then like through like the girl like manages to like light out some candles, and that's when she discovers the kitty cat was dead. It's like it's killed, like sliced.
Its
Red-
neck
red
got
s-
sliced.
Its neck got sliced.
There's like
yeah.
a innocent white little cat with his neck cut and like blood coming out, and she freaks out.
Yeah, she freaks out. I freaked out because like this is the moment that I don't like the movie anymore. But we have to soldier on. So then like we keep on watching. We keep watching. So she freaks
We keep
out.
checking the time. Like how much time is left? How much time? I thought this was 90 minutes.
So she freaks out, and then she accuses Glasses for being the killer. And through the panic, she opens the door again, and boop, we have a third character. He's like this very stoic looking man who claims that he's a police officer, but he doesn't even look like a police officer. He brings out like a gun, and there's like this tension where like he forces the other two characters to sit down. And to prove his identity, right? He uses the phone to call, and then claims that he's like his name is like Inspector Qureshi. And then like there's this like sense of doubt among the characters. Like Glasses accuses him, like, how will we know that he called the police station? He might have just pretended, right? Because the phone is working after all.
I would
She
say one
has a
thing.
phone, that's for sure.
I would say one thing. Like the way he was
She
talking.
has a phone headset. She's like a fucking operator.
The way he was talking, this police guy, like that's not how usually police talks. Like his language was very like thug like,
Okay.
right? Like the dialect he was using of Hindi and everything, it was like very thug like.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
it's not
Yeah.
how it's not a
Yeah.
proper decorum like how a police would talk.
He doesn't act like it. Like he has a red jacket. His chest hair is out. He is drinking visibly in front of them with like
Yeah.
a flask.
He has nice boots.
He has nice boots. He's like unshaven. He's a mess. And he's drunk.
Yeah, and then they just like the Glasses guy doesn't believe for a second that this is a police officer, so they end up like fighting over the gun, and throughout the fight, the woman manages to get the gun from them, and Glasses asks her to like maybe you should call the police to see if it's really Inspector Qureshi. And because the phone is really working, right, as Winnie has mentioned quite a few times,
The dial tone is always on.
the dial tone is always on. So she's she calls the police station, and she actually finds out that there is no Inspector Qureshi. So then we find out that okay, maybe this guy's lying, and then
Everyone's lying.
everyone is lying. So then the Inspector Qureshi like manages to get the gun back, and then he said like we might maybe I don't know. He claims that he doesn't know anything about this serial killer on the loose. So he said that maybe Glasses is the serial killer. So then he tells the girl to get some rope, which is like a very triggering word for our characters.
Music motif cuts in.
That the rope, that maybe that this is the serial killer. So as she runs off to get the rope, right? What was it? Glasses manages to like get the spear and stabs the guy into the abdomen. And as while that was happening, the girl manages to walk in with some rope. I don't know where she got it from, but then like she spots him all bloodied up with the spear in his hand. She freaks out and runs up, and then like Glasses manages to say like, all right, maybe I should get the fuck out of here. So like maybe I'll call the police. And that's when we discover like this major plot twist is that Winnie, I guess you're wrong. The phone isn't working.
Oh no!
If you watched it at one speed, you would have known
Oh
this.
my goodness!
Yeah, the phone isn't working because like the wire was cut. So then like it just dawned on us, the audience, that like, wait, then if the phone wasn't working this whole time, then that means that somebody else must be in the house. So then he actually goes up into the attic to confront her with the spear in hand. I think it was a spear. I don't remember, but he had a weapon in hand.
He had the gun. He had the gun.
He had the gun in his hand, and he assures her that like, there's someone in the house. I'm gonna find out who. But then for whatever reason, there's another guy that like he hears this doorbell, right? So then he goes down to check it out, and then like she actually goes down. The woman follows after her. She goes down and then finds out that like, there was another guy that was looking for Mr. Malhotra, which means that things don't add up at this point, because if that stranger that rang the doorbell said Mr. Malhotra, then why is the girl telling everyone that this is Mr. Gupta? So then something doesn't add up. Glasses goes upstairs and then manages to find like this long ass carpet, like rolled up carpet. And what does he discover? But a phone that isn't working. Oh no, it's a dead body, the dead body of Mr. Malhotra.
And there's a missing shoe, and
It's
the
a
whole
missing
time. I'm
shoe.
kidding. It's from the murder movie. We see so many bodies and rolled up carpets. It's just like the common way to kill someone in these movies, I guess.
So then we find out that, oh wait, if Mr. Malhotra is dead, then that means, and then we had like your typical like, oh, the killer's behind me moment, and it's actually the woman, and that's
The
like a
old
huge-
innocent woman, or not old, but the young, sweet, innocent woman that was alone in her house killed the owner.
And you see her just kind of like disintegrate into this young girl kind of vibe where she's like laughing and be like,
yeah.
That's the Evil Dead
so
part
it's
2.
very psycho
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just like she does like this complete change of character, like psycho, childlike behavior. Glasses puts the 2 and 2 together, and then we find out that she is the killer. So she chases him throughout, and then manages to like chase him outside the roof, the roof, chases him to the roof, and then like outright kills him there, like stabs him in the back, basically. But then we had like this like long drawn out moment where he like suddenly comes back to life, and then like she manages to like he manages to like wrestle the knife away from her and starts choking her, but not before. But before he could do anything to her, like the fake Inspector Qureshi comes in to like stab in the back with the spear. And then, making you think, oh, great, now he got the wrong guy. Like, it gives us that misunderstanding. But of course, that guy dies too. Like, she just offs him.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, earlier, she had a gun and was pointing it at both of them and didn't do anything. And then later kills them both on the rooftop. She hears the doorbell ring, right?
Yeah.
Goes downstairs. They ask for that owner again. And then all of a sudden you see her personality turn and she stares at the camera and gives her weird, freakish, like Joker-ified look. And then, okay, we're going to do it the other guest.
And before that, she actually has another phone call with her mom, right?
Yeah.
And that's when she's talking on the phone and she puts it down and you see the wire has been cut all along. So this woman is talking to nobody. She's just batshit crazy, like downright batshit crazy.
I think like why so I had a theory that like it kind of shows like a kind of a split personality disorder.
Mhm.
Like she might have like 2 personalities, like when she's like, I mean, both personalities is crazy because even when the quote unquote the normal behavior, like she's still talking on the phone, which is not possible because the phone is cut. And that's was the character she was in when she had the gun, so she didn't kill, and then it flips later. But there is no trigger point or anything shown because usually, like in this kind of storytelling where there is a split personality, there would be a trigger point to change the personality, right? So there was no trigger, like it was maybe behind the screen, like whatever is happening. But yeah, I mean, like it kind of gave that vibe, but it was not explicitly told, which I actually kind of liked that. Because we have seen like so many film on Bollywood, and even in the Hollywood there was this film called Split or something like that.
Yeah. That
Beautiful
was it.
film.
Like that's about and it's a very common motif in Bollywood films as well. like split personality.
And also, don't forget, this was 1999. So, like, you got 12 Monkeys, you got Fight Club, you have, like, the M. Night Shyamalan twist at the time. Like, this was pretty current in the 1999.
Fear.
Yeah, Primal Fear.
I love that film.
This
Yeah.
reminded me most of like When a Stranger Calls. Do you guys watch that?
Uh-uh.
Where
I
they're
didn't
like,
see that.
this call is coming from inside the house. And
Yeah.
that's when they realize the killer is actually like, and that's a big plot twist as well. And that's
Right.
kind of what we saw here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes, like, the late 90s, like, psychological split personality, like, oh, it was actually me the whole time. Or, like, the Usual Suspects twist at the end. Like, they were just obsessed with twists at the time.
Mhm.
So one
Yeah.
thing I really liked I like that Khilli mentioned that the whole split personality thing is that's the question that I think is worth talking about by the end of the movie is that the thing that we should be asking is, so was she really the serial killer?
Absolutely. We saw her kill 2 men on the rooftop.
Yeah, but then the news reports say that the modus operandi, it did not match anything that she did.
That's true. There was no ropes.
There was
involved in
no
the
rope
killings that she
involved. There was
committed.
nothing.
Wait,
But still, I think the movie
wait,
kind like
hold
when
on.
Mr. Malhotra like showed up dead, I think the kind of messaging was that she's the killer all along.
But I don't.
killed him, man.
She killed him, but I don't think she's the serial killer. It's not. It's not outright explain whether she's the serial
But she
killer.
definitely
or not.
does this as a hobby, right? Because like at the end, another man knocks on her door asking for Mr. Malhotra, and she's like, "My next victim."
Go back to the beginning when she sees all the dudes that she killed.
No, wait, go back. Wait, before I'm gonna get there, right? Like, if you listen to the news report, they said that the serial killer has a habit of tying victims to the chair, right? And then they also mentioned that the victim has a habit of knocking on the door and asking to come in, which matches what Glasses was doing. So then it makes you question whether, was Glasses really the person? We don't know that. We don't.
Glasses never asked for the rope though, and somehow she had the rope ready when the police officer asked for it.
But like that's the thing. That's what I like about the whole movie. It just makes you question: was she
that's true.
really the serial killer? And like we have nothing to go on from. We just have to like fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And
Do
all
you
that.
think it was a killer in the house that the serial killer then came into, and then it was serial killer versus just normal killer?
Yeah. Like that's my brother thought about that. He thinks that way. But then my partner thinks that there's like what Khilli said, that she's schizophrenic. And so and then there's one moment in the beginning where we saw there's one moment in the beginning where she like looks down at all the people. There's like she hallucinates that there's like all these victims that were looking at her. And then like I managed to think that like maybe it's like, all the people that she killed. But then you can also think that maybe she's just schizophrenic, like maybe
she was
just
dreaming.
She was, yeah, I know, but like
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
could be.
True.
I don't know.
I mean, like, I think Nicky, we had completely different takeaways because I had no questions left by the end of the movie. I was like, this woman is the killer. Like, that was a big plot twist.
It just
for
didn't
me.
make sense to me. Why would the news report
Yeah.
mention all those details and then she just like all the people that she's offed, like they didn't match anything. Well, I mean, like I just think that like the whole point of the movie is to ask yourself, was she really the person or not?
But she definitely is psycho, right? Towards the end of the movie, we recognize there is like, even if she is not the serial killer, she is still schizophrenic, right? Like she's been having phone calls with a phone that had the wire cut the entire time. She's kind of like going into this childlike mode where she laughs and kills people for fun. So
Even if she's not the
Like-
serial killer, yeah, she killed
Yeah.
3 people in this movie.
She's already a serial
At
killer now.
least.
after acting like she was in complete distress, right? Like there is definitely she's schizophrenic. She has a split personality regardless, I'd say.
I think the news reporter is kind of complicit. He's giving like wrong information about serial killer.
I think the news reporter is the
He's a
serial
serial
killer, and he's tricking everyone and telling everyone it's the rope to lure them in, but actually, like, he's pulling the strings behind the scenes.
And
Or maybe he's like her lover and he's like trying to cover her up.
Well, that's the
protect
thing
her.
with the movie. It's like I like the whole the vision is there, right? But like there's just so many things that you're left wondering, like so many questions you want to ask, but I guess there's never a direct answer. I don't want to like conclude the fact that, oh, maybe you interpret it your own way, but like I can't deny that I had a lot of questions. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the point.
that's the
But
whole
it
point.
also, once you know the twist and then you rewatch it, like, none of it makes any sense.
no,
like-
it's not.
Why is she behaving like that? Again, she has a gun on both of them. If she wanted to kill him, she could. I mean, sure, maybe she has a split personality that doesn't kick in right away. But then we have to talk about the cat, because
Yeah.
Glasses didn't kill the cat. Maybe she did, but when she lights the candles and sees the cat with the throat slit, she acts surprised. So then it goes in the territory that I don't like, which is movies that are playing for the audience and not for the actual characters in the movie. Like, did she kill the cat? If she did, she wouldn't be shocked. If she's shocked, then like, then she should be shocked. But like, if you're doing it for me in the movie, then none of this is real because it's all just like, performances to manipulate my feelings, but not like
Yeah.
actually their feelings inside the story.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
like the issue I have is like, okay, that's cool. Those twists are fun. But if you go back and watch Fight Club, it all works.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. Like Mr. Glasses shouldn't be behaving like that. She should definitely not be behaving like that.
I think everything was done to shock the audience
Yeah.
with the twist. It's like a twist at the end kind of
Yeah.
thing. I remember like when I was like we were in script writing class, like our script, like whatever, like whoever was teaching our script writing module, like he told us explicitly, whatever you write, don't write a twist at the end, please, for heaven's sake. Like I will not allow it. Like if you write a twist at the end, like do whatever else you want. Like that was like, because I think like he recognized the fact that like this generation of people like will grew up with like watching these twists at the end, and they're kind of hung up to that a lot, and it actually kind of how do I like devalues a certain way, like the script, like the whole like seriousness of a film. Like oh yeah, it was just you just tricked me. Like that's the thing, right? Oh, you just tricked me. Like I mean, it's shock value. It used to work at the beginning, like when it was a new thing, but then it was used and overused and abused so many times, so it kind of became like a redundant so much.
The only way it can work is if, you watch it again and the twist actually helps the second viewing, not makes it worse. Those are the good movies. If the twist just like reinforces the story again, then that's fine. Like that's cool. Like like Sixth Sense even does that like very well. Like, when you watch it again, it doesn't ruin the story. But if you get to the end and then the twist negates everything you've just seen, that's like bad storytelling. And when we watched the review or read the reviews, they were saying like, oh, the writing's really good. I think what they must be referring to is that the structure is interesting because dialogue is not the same as writing.
Wait, but if it's unscripted, was it even written?
That's my point. If they literally all improvised it, and I don't think the dialogue is good at all. Like it's annoying, but it's clearly improv, and they're clearly padding for time. The dialogue isn't good. Writing, I mean, if you mean like the story and the twist, I guess, but the dialogue is not good.
No, dialogues were like really. It was irritating. Like it was really irritating. So it's like, okay, that guy is irritating the girl, the lady, right? But as an audience, we shouldn't be irritated by the film, right? Like that's the thing. Like if you want to bore, like you want to watch, you want to show in a film boredom, you shouldn't bore the audience. If you want to show like irritation, you shouldn't irritate the audience to the point like, okay, at this point, like I'm like, okay, kill that guy already. Like, like I would kill that guy. Like what the hell is going on? Like he's getting on my nerves as well. And her behavior at that point, because we at the beginning or at the till the twist turns out, right? Like we don't know that she's the actual killer, right? And her actions doesn't make any sense, right? Like why you are not calling the number? Like that's the simplest task you can do. Like why you are not calling the number? Why you are letting him do everything he wants to do? And you have a working phone, you have like your parents on the call. Oh, at one point she quote unquote calls the parents, right? Like which is like later we can understand it's a all fake thing. But so that was those were the things that were like kind of bothering me about the film as we go on. But it all explains when we later understands the twist. But
no, but
here's
it
the thing.
doesn't, because her behavior doesn't make sense as a victim or as the killer.
Yeah, I go with that. It doesn't make sense at all. The more I think about it, it just doesn't add up.
Like as the killer, okay, so maybe you find out she's the killer, then you can go back and be like, oh, I get why she didn't call the number, but you don't get why she didn't just kill the guy.
Yeah.
or why she's like running around acting like this or being shocked by the dead cat or whatever. So like either the victim or the killer, neither of those behaviors make sense, and the twist
Yeah.
doesn't help with that.
Unless she's like really
Frustrating.
psycho and she enjoys the thrill of seeing people freak out and she enjoys that confusion.
So the only
But-
explanation we thought is like she's just two personalities. One personality doesn't know what's going on
No.
with the other.
That's the interesting point. Like, if one personality doesn't know what the other personality is doing, like what I was saying, like maybe she's split personality, then why she's not like? Then she should call the police.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
The behavior
Like,
as the victim doesn't
yeah.
make sense.
No,
Yeah.
also she seems to have control over her split at the end, right? When she gets another knock on the door and she's looking at the camera like, ooh, round 2, here we go again. Like you kind of see that she has that control.
Khilli's right. I mean, this is a student film. This is
Yeah.
a guy thinking that they're extra clever, and also secretly, or not secretly, but like when you look at the themes of this movie, it is very much like, yeah, women are bitches, right? Like they're the actual liars, right? Like all these guys that look like they're murderers and the
Right.
thieves, like actually the woman was the one lying the whole time and she's crazy and these guys are totally
Which is
fine.
very fitting for 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this guy's super annoying, but it's like actually he's good. And this thief, like actually he's good too. It's bitches be crazy, am I right?
Bitches
and
be crazy.
That's a little weird.
Given the fan base of this the writer and the director, I would say like there are a lot of edgelords side of their filmmaking. Like Anurag Kashyap's fan base is it has a huge edgelord fan base.
When you were saying edgelord and Nicky was saying edgelord, that's when I put it together. Was like, yeah, the end is just about how the woman is lying, even though she's like in a victim status the entire time. And if you kind of zoom back, that's kind of really fucked up.
So, Khilli, I know that you've watched other movies from this director. Does it seem to have a commonality or a common theme throughout his other movies?
Women be beaches? No. It
This is
doesn't,
kind of like plot twist, maybe.
no plot twist. Kinda. I think people kinda checks like he kinda grows out of it. Like they all grow because
Because it's a student film, they're fucking nerds.
the director. I mean, I know him for making gangster films.
Oh, okay.
Right, which doesn't have like much plot twist. It's like, okay, there are suspense. You don't know like who is backstabbing at the end. Like you find out who's backstabbing. There are certain suspense of that, but it's not twist at the end. It's mostly gang fight, gang wars. Like like who is like topping whom and who is like growing on the gang ladder and that kind of competition and like killings and like a lot of gore. And also Anurag Kashyap, when he makes later films, like we watched Dave D, right?
Is that from him?
Yeah, Dave D is Anurag Kashyap's direction and writing both. So at this time, he was writing films for this guy and maybe some other people, but he was a script writer or associate script writer. And later, he becomes a director as well. So, I mean, I haven't seen much of like twist at the end kind of film from him after this. But I would say like he had this fan base of like engineering student. When I'm saying like Indians can associate with that, like
STEM
I don't
lords.
think not everyone like international people can understand like what I'm saying when I'm saying engineering students, quote unquote. But like, okay, Indian students fan, like like it's similar to like Christopher Nolan fan and that kind of thing. Like, oh, he's like a like he's the best filmmaker ever kind of fan base he kind of got. And he was not under any big banner of Bollywood film industry, but he kind of kept indie films in a certain way. But whatever, like I'm not going in that debacle. But yeah, he has that kind of fan base, and that kind of makes sense because when we were looking at the reviews and everything, there's not a single. Like there was one single bad review but on IMDb, but like there's rarely any bad review of this film. Like anyone pointing out like why these kind of things are happening. Like everyone is like, oh, this is amazing, this is superb, this is classic, there's nothing bad, it's like amazing, it's ahead of the time.
Yeah,
like,
well
all
written. I don't know how you could
well-written,
call
like-
it. You can't call it well written.
It's literally the cycle of Bollywood, isn't it?
But
It
in
kind of has
1999 and
that.
not
But
the
like-
60s.
But like, I don't know. Maybe this is just my biased perspective, but I kind of feel like every movie that we looked up through IMDb, sometimes I feel like there's too many positive reviews.
Which is
Like,
really
it's too
rare because I feel like
positive.
if anything, IMDb for Hollywood is known for being overly negative. Like you have to try really hard to get anything above a 6.5 for Hollywood movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
very high, but it's not
7.
just IMDb.
Yeah.
Like, it's in lists of like some of the best thrillers, psychological thrillers. Like,
Right.
it's editors, film editors are also doing this, and people that do complain kind of get downvoted a bit.
Yes.
Like, but I understand. Like, maybe it was very important. Like, I mean, look, we'll say like it was filmed in 15 days. There's no songs. It was 90 minutes. I think maybe for Indie at the time with what was going on, like maybe it was very important and edgy at the time, but that's okay. Looking back, you can still criticize it. I don't think it holds up.
So a friend of mine from abroad, she saw me talked about it on Instagram, and then she said to me that it's by no means a cinematic masterpiece, but it was really ahead of its time during that time.
So it
That's
kind
what
of paved the way for
so
other
that's
movies in
what she
that
told me.
genre.
Yeah, that I
I-
could.
yeah, I
agree,
can see how it
maybe.
kind of gained the recognition of cult classic then in that sense.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it's intense for sure, right? And it's all in one setting. It's all in this mansion, which kind of adds a layer of fun and interest to it.
Like, I think that it's like, while the reviews are a little too positive for me, I feel like warts and all, I actually liked it. Like, I think that overall it was a very enjoyable movie, even though I think there were things that I still don't think make any sense, and I'm still questioning it to this day. Like, okay, well,
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You know, I watched it on 1.5 speed. I think that might have enhanced the experience.
I'd
I
watch
don't
it
know.
again
I
at
can't
3
really
speed.
say.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, maybe Adam, you can compare it, but I think I like movies where it's just kind of like concentrated in one setting. It makes it kind of fly by faster. So this worked for me, even on 1.5. All right, Adam, any closing thoughts?
No, I think we can skip the scale because it doesn't apply.
No. We want the scale.
oh really?
Well, I mean, there's just no
Let's just
There's
go
a- there's
over it
no
for fun.
family Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fear stare scale.
There's the stairs, man.
Okay,
There is true. There's
There's the
true.
stairs. There's a lot of running around. No one fell.
Nikki, what's the staircase moment?
She's the killer. It's
Yeah.
just like it's
Phone wire being cut, right? That's when it's like dun dun dun.
I thought the phone was working, like you said it, Winnie.
Coming from inside the house.
So then that's correct. And then the next ones we go down, I don't know, man. So dance floor clause?
Nothing,
No.
right? Nothing. Unless you call like crawling down the stairs a dance floor.
There's a lot of musical cues, right? I mean, does
Like
that
in the
count in any
Hitchcock
way?
vibe.
There's a lot of musical cues. Family Feud factor? No.
Mama needs to come home.
It's
She
a
wants-
fake family.
It's a
an
fake
imaginary
family. She's creating fake drama with her dead mom that she's not talking
The
to.
first Bollywood film, by the way, that we watched where there is actually no family members.
There is a mom, kind
Yeah,
of.
An
that
imaginary
gives us
mom.
five.
True, it's true. And no one's playing their own dad, so I mean it's very off the beat path for us. Regional heat check? I don't know. Is it accurate for anything? No, I don't think that's how humans behave. I don't think it's how like a normal house is.
It's one house. I don't know if it's a regional.
It's a one.
representation
did
at
That's
all.
normally what happens is at one house. So I
I-
think I think they nailed
We
it.
asked the question: isn't there anyone else around the house?
I
Why is
don't know which city was this happening, but I don't know. Like, I didn't grow up anywhere or didn't hear anything where a thief, like that's third person claims, the second guy claims as he has this automatic like fucking gun, man. Like, I don't know any thief had like guns.
But you know what, Khilli, you lived through 2 robberies, so I'd say there is some relevance in the film, at least in the national setting.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of the fear at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what's our
moral?
There's a moral. All right. Don't
No,
Don't kill
women are
people.
liars. Do not trust them. They are
Women,
all
you say?
that's the moral
That's
of the
your
movie.
generalization.
That's the
from
movie's
movie.
generalization. I'm not saying my opinion.
If it was a man killer, it would turn out to be glasses, for instance. Your takeaway would not be like men are all killers.
Yeah,
Don't
I
be
would.
gendered, Adam.
I don't know. For me, it's like, when you go to a friend's house, the first thing you should do is check the phone line if it's connected.
For
That's
me, it's just if it's fucking raining, just stay outside. Don't try to get shelter in anyone's houses because you don't know what people are up to.
For me, it's like don't have a cat near me because I will kick it instantly.
there's
I
Okay.
fucking hate cats and people that own cats.
I hear that.
That's why I don't go to your house, Khilli.
I think
Jeez.
another one I could learn is that there's an art to sandwich making.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
like if you have a stranger over and they demand coffee, just go make them coffee.
See, you guys, we're coming up with a lot of
Right.
morals.
No,
I've
and
learned to be a traditional woman from this
is
movie.
so ahead of its time.
I'm getting really hungry for salted bread right now. All right. All right. So that's it. I mean, it's a cult classic. It's fun. What's the next movie?
Life is a box of chocolates. Never know
No,
what
it's
you're gonna get.
Yeah, it becomes golgappa. Like
Life
Pani
is like a box of golgappe.
there's no box, but life is like pani puri or golgappa. That's what he says. Like
It always squirts in your mouth. What's the name of the movie?
Lao Sing Chadda, which
Yes.
is AKA Forrest Gump of Bollywood.
We're gonna meet an old friend, the very abnormal Amir Khan.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Amir Khan's eyebrows raised, so we need to go back to that well.
Yeah, we missed that after all this whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, listen to our after listening to our podcast, go watch the film and then come back and then comment and tell us like what our take was like good enough or like we screwed up at some point. Yeah, your feedback is really helpful, guys.
Yeah.
Let us know if you like the film.
I think I do better like ending than like introduction.
Okay, bye, bye, bye.